Iron Trader, it is Thursday morning. So we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, at Ethereum, gold, silver, crude oil, natural gas. Now remember, for natural gas here, the EIA report will be out here today at 10:30. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation by selling stock, bond, ETF. Please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Here we have Bitcoin on your daily chart. Now you can see here how we have this downtrending action. Okay, so we had this really nice series of higher highs and higher lows, and now it looks like it reversed. Okay, so we have that lower series of lower highs and lower lows here now. However, now we see, we put in this bottoming tail here at that 89,325, didn't hold, and yesterday we put another bottoming tail at 88,600 level. Okay, so really we are looking for right there is to hold this on a closing basis, and that was at 89.20, and that's exactly what we did here. Okay, so what we have here today so far, we had a high of 93,225. Yesterday we had a high of 93,290 level. Okay, so we have just a little bit a lower high, so we have what it calls an inside day. Now on the downside, what we're watching the bottom of that candle, that 89,325 level, and then when we come down here to that 88,600. But if you look over to the left, this is exactly what we want to do, is hold this on a closing basis. That's going to be key, and that's going to be that 89.20 level. Okay. Now, here on the upside here, we're looking at yesterday's high, that 93,290. We'll come over top of this candle here. You're looking at that 93,960 level, but this is what we're really looking for, is that 8-day. Now, realistically, to reverse this downtrend, this price channel has to get back above that 8 simple moving average. If it does, then we can start heading for that 21-day at that 103 level, and we can start heading for that 200-day at that 104. Okay, but again, you can see how strong that the resistance is on that 21-day. We had that tweezer top, came all the way down, went right back into it, couldn't do anything, and look how many times that it hit on that 200-day, and it just could not get above, and then she just fell right off. Now we have a little bit of consolidation going. You can see where the market is ripping up here. The futures on the NASDAQ here up about 392, and if you listened to me yesterday, I said NVIDIA could be the game changer for tech reversal here. Okay, so now you look at all the tech stuff, it's reversing. Now TQQ is yesterday closed out at 100, and today is at 52.32. Okay, so don't get excited if you're trading TQQ, because they did a reverse split 2-for-1. So actually it's up over four points today from yesterday. Okay, so now you just have a little better price that you can buy it at the 52.33 level. Okay, so always look at information is very, very valuable. Now we got here down to almost to an oversold condition, and now we have nothing, air to the upside. Same way with this green to the downside. Now everybody's talking about where Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin's done. This could just be a little bit of a correction. Don't get excited. Let's just trade the charts. Okay, so easy way to trade this 1-to-1 is IBIT. I trade BITX, that's a 2-to-1 ratio. And then you can also do the shorty on this, BITI. It doesn't matter when you're a trader which direction it goes, you can make money in both directions. Okay, so bottom line, what we're really watching is just watch that candle at 89,325. Watch this candle here at that 88,600 level. But realistically, just watch this on a closing basis that we need to close above this 89.20. If we start losing that, then we can come down to the bottom there, 87.70 level. We have 84.790, 83.905. We come down here at 83.190. Then we can venture all the way down here to your 81,000. Then we come down here to your 78,000 level. We come down here at that 76,390 level. Then we have your big retest down here at that 81,450. Okay, now this here, we had a really nice good double bottom. You can see where it hit. Came down here again, made a little bit higher high, and then she just ventured right on up. The key is you have to get that price back above that 8-day. Once it does, then we can have a nice good rally up here. But this will be a little bit patient. We got a lot of good selling going on here. But again, just wait for opportunity. That's the key. Okay, let's take a look here now at Ethereum. All right, here we have the Ethereum. Now, this is acting about the same way. Okay, so you can see here pretty much the same as what Bitcoin was doing, except not to that much extreme. We're hanging right around that 200-day simple moving average. Now, yesterday we put that low in, so this is what we're going to be trading against. We're going to be looking to the left of this candle at that 29.59 level, and we'll come right to the bottom here at 28.72. Okay, so right here is we look at the top of that candle. This is 28.53. That's going to be your gap fill. That's going to be your next level of support. Then we'll come right to the top of that candle, 27.91. top of that candle right there at 27.51. Those are going to be your support levels. Now, if we start losing that, then yes, then we can come over here. You're looking at 26.51, and then we just followed it all the way down. 25.99 here. We have 25.31. We come down here to this 23.83 level, and then we can retest all the way down here at that 21.75. Okay, but again, if we can get back above that 8-day, that can reverse this downtrend, and we can just start moving this bad boy up. So first of all, we have to look at here, it has to get in back and close back above that 3066 level. That is your 200-day. If we can get above that, then we have your 8-day sitting right at the top of that at 3164. Okay, we get above that, then we just follow the candles up here. You got 3226 level. We have 3270. We come right to the bottom of this candle here. You're looking at 3376 level. We come there at 3412, and then we're looking for that 21-day at 3500, pretty much flat. Okay, but right now the 8-day is going to be everything. You can see how I always call that 21-day the catch-all. So it works in both directions. So if it breaks through that 8-day, then we always look for that 21-day to stop it. Okay, and it's the same way as we look on the upside. We always look for that. If it breaks through that 8-day, we look for that 21-day to catch it. Okay, so always look at that 21-day as a catch-all in both directions. Now, we're sitting here, yeah, 35, that's not overbought or oversold, but we're coming down that way down in that area. Same way here at your MACD. So right now, what you're basically doing is we trend against yesterday's candle, that low 28.72, and then on the upside, you just want to watch this key 200-day, that 3066, and we want to watch that 8-day at 3164. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. Here we have gold and silver. Now you can see here how we just have this basically the same thing as we had yesterday, a kind of a ping pong action. Okay, we have the 21-day on the downside, we have the 8-day on the outside. So we're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until someone's going to spike that ping pong ball, and then she's going to go slant up or she's going to smash down. Now, what we're watching on that downside is that 40.54. That's a 21-day. We lose that, we'll come down to today's low at that 40.34. But realistically, what you're looking for is this 39.90. That is your 50-day. Now, we lose that, we're going to come right down to this retest at 39.01, which is basically just the bottom of that candle. Okay, that's your downside action. Now, upside action, 41.05. Okay, we get above that, we go through yesterday's high. You're looking at 41.34, and then we just venture all the way up here, 41.55 level. We come up here at that 42.18, and then we have your retest at 42.50, which is basically just the top of that candle. But right now, we're just stuck right between. For me, I have no trade on here. Okay, I only trade this on the long side, so I'm waiting for here to get back and close back above this 41.05. Not spike above, you know, pop and drop. I'm talking about you have to close back above that 41.05. I might get it a little bit light. Then I would jump into GLD and take it to that 42.50. Then we'd have to see what the reaction is once it gets there, because your next level is going to be right there at that 43.46, and then retest 43.98. But right now we just have sideways action. The 8-day was curling up, had a nice good run, but you got to know when to get out of this. Okay, RSI, pretty much flat ski. We're just sitting here, same way with here. There's not overbought, not oversold. We just have a sideways action, and gold's like it's consolidating after this nice, huge run up that it had. Okay, silver, pretty much same thing. Okay, we had that nice double top situation. It spiked up, but you notice where it closed, right below that 8-day. Okay, very, very key. So you can't just spike up. That'd be good, like if you're just day trading and I'm spiking up. But if you're going to say, hey, I'm taking that for me, I got to have it where it closes above that 8-day. Then I would take it just like it did here. Okay, see how it came down, held the 8-day, closed above the 8-day, closed above. That tells me I can get into this trade. And then when it comes up to this level, okay, see where that is? Boom. Okay, that tells me it couldn't get through. Next day, popped and dropped. So you always have to wait and see what the reaction is. It popped up, and you know it could not hold that key level right there. So that means you got to get out of the trade. Just that simple. Okay, so right now we're watching this 51.13 level. We can get above that. We can go to today's high, 51.57. We'll work ourselves up to this 52.24. We come up here at that 53.37, and then always watch this candle here because that was the breakout, 53.76, and then 54.41. Okay, now on the downside, we're watching obviously today's low. You're looking at 50.09, and then we're watching that 21-day at 49.21, and then we have 47.91, and then we come right down here to your retest down at 45.51. But you can see these charts are very similar. This one had a double top situation, but now we're stuck right between the 21-day and the 8-day. So you trade this range until we're either going to break out of that 8-day or we're going to break down and hit that 50-day and possible retest. Now, we're not overbought or oversold here. Same thing here. We just have the sideways action. So right now, there really isn't a whole lot going on here for me until we close it back above them 8 days. Then I would jump into GLD and the SLV. All right, take a look here now at crude oil. Here we have the old crude oil. Now you can see here 50-day is everything, like I've been pointing out here for I don't know how many weeks now. Okay, 50 days everything. Went into it, couldn't get through it, into it, couldn't get through it, into it, couldn't get through it, and now here we are. Now yesterday we had this big red candle, but you kind of like put a bottoming tail, but we just have sideways action going here. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. Downside, just watch that 8-day. That's going to be key, 59.70. We lose that, we'll go to yesterday's low. You're looking at that 58.66 level, and we'll come down to the bottom of this candle here, 58.12. We'll come down here, 57.34, 56.35, and retest down there at 55.96. Same old, same old. Nothing's happening. Upside, got to get back above that 21-day, 60.22. So this is the same pinball action we're playing. See that? 59 on the bottom. Okay, 8-day, 60.22 on the top. The key is going to be that 50-day right there. You have to get it back above it. So for me, I'm just basically just trading this until we can either crack above that 50-day, head to that price channel 62.59, and then we have 63.06, we have 64.37, and then we have your 64.32. But right now we just have a downtrending action going here. Okay, this was a possible inverse head and shoulders. Left shoulder's head, right shoulder, but this is just extending way on down here, and we are downtrending all the way. So only way to reverse that is you have to close back above that 50-day. Once you do, then we can attack that price channel at 62.59. Right now, we're just kind of holding steady, but there's so much, it's such a push-pull thing because the T-Man, he put sanctions against Russia, okay, under two largest oil companies, and that's huge income for Russia. So that's one thing. You say, oh, okay. But then you have such a glut, okay, on the other side of oil that you have a big, huge supply of oil. But then again, now the U.S. is starting to fill up the SPR to take away some of that glut. So it's like a push-pull situation. So right now, I'm not really expecting much here until we get like pretty much the first week of December. Then it usually rallies up until about the first week or so of January. Then it goes flat again. But let's just see how that's going to shake out here. But right now, today, just watch that 8-day. That's going to be key. Watch that 21-day and that 50-day. We get above the 50-day, then we can ram higher. Until then, it's just basically a trade. All right, let's take a look at natural gas. All right, here we have natural gas. Okay, let's see what we got here. Now, contract roll, nice good run up, hit that 4.688 level. Yesterday, we had that nice big green candle. UNG was a really good trade. I have no position as of right now, okay? Reason being is we put this bottoming tail in there. Then once we start making a higher high on that, that's when I jumped into UNG. I was watching that 8-day, figured might get out of that, but then it ripped right through that, and then we had a nice high all the way up there at that 460 level. Okay, right now we have what's called an inside day. Your high and low is within the previous day's high and low, and we're looking for that EIA report there at 10:30 to see if it could be kind of a market mover. Downside, you're going to watch that 4.49. That's going to be very, very key. Well, then we'll come to the top of this candle. You're looking at 4.40, and then we look to the bottom, 4.35, and then we'll be looking right here at sticky at 4.23, and then we have your 21-day sitting right there. And you can see how the 21 days moving up, 50 days moving up, but we just have like a sideways consolidation. Upside, we want to watch yesterday's high, that 460 mark. We'll come up here, okay, 463, and then 468. That's your big target. We crack above that right here. Just look to the left of the chart, 490. That's your target right there. Okay. Now it's not going to go right straight to 490, but you probably go to that 475, 480. But eventually, this is going to be your big target, and then we have to see exactly what the reaction is once you get there. But right now we have the sideways consolidation. So what you want to watch today is you want to watch that 8-day on the downside. We lose it, we can start testing all these levels, and maybe the 21-day. And on the upside, we want to watch yesterday's high and that 4.68. That's what we're looking for. Now, we got to an overbought situation here, and then now we're sitting right below this. So we're not overbought or oversold. The green is over your red, but they're kind of like sideways action. So there really isn't a whole lot right here. To me, again, this is like crude oil. It's just a trade. UNG for the long, KLD for the short, and that's what we got. All right, I'll be back here midday trading, and we'll take a look at some stocks. Right now, we have the NASDAQ up 347 thanks to NVIDIA. That's all ripping up nice here. Amazon is up. Meta is up. My TQQ did a split, and that's up nice here. Microsoft is up. Apple is up just a little bit. And Google. Google's really the one that you wanted to get into. That's a really good trade. It got as high as 303 yesterday. It's sitting at 298. And then obviously Tesla, that's always a good trade. All right, trade what's in front of you. Now what you want.